Okay, guys, here we are with another video again. We've got Riley Gaines here talking to Joe Rogan. This is a clip from the daverubin podcast, the Rubin Report right here. She's talking about a situation behind the scenes at one of the swim matches she participated in as a world-class female swimmer.
Caster Joe Rogan, well, I think this guy's gonna make it.
At this national championships, right? This national championships where we had Leah Thomas, who is a male, a man, self-identifying as a woman. We were told we fully had to treat this person as a woman, right? This same national championships, we had another athlete who was transitioning. But this athlete is a female who was then self-identifying as a man from Yale. Izzy now goes by the name of Isaac. And we were told we fully had to treat this person as a man.
Damn it, Jim. All right, so you hear that, guys? You got a man who identifies as a woman. You got to treat him as a woman. We've got a woman who identifies as a man. We have to treat that person as a man. We have to treat them as a man. Here's the problem. They're still swimming in the women's competition. How does this make any sense? What is the point of having men's and women's competitions if anybody can identify as whatever they want to identify as a fucking giraffe and still swim against the women? Why don't we just have different levels? Oh, wait, they already have that. But no, Leah Thomas decides he wants to dominate other women, even though he's a man. I said other women. He's not a woman. He wants to dominate women, which is exactly what Title IX was designed to prevent. So women could have their own sports. They could compete on a more level playing field. It's never a level playing field, but it's a more level playing field.
Of what this looked like from our eyes. Okay, finals of the 100 freestyle. Top 8 women in the entire nation.
Air quotes women.
Air quotes women. Yeah, for those that don't have video. Air quotes women. Top 8 women in the entire country. And you've got a 6'4" man in a women's swimsuit with a bulge next to a woman wearing only a Speedo with nothing covering her top. Your reaction was my reaction, because I'm sitting there watching this.
Why don't we have video of this?
I'm thinking to myself,
it's completely
me.
and totally
I'm
fine.
the crazy one. It must be. This is the freaking Twilight Zone.
Take video of this and put it on national television.
Really what had thrusted me over the edge into no longer being willing to lie.
Because then everybody would actually find out what's really going on.
In the 200 freestyle. This is the day after he swam the 500 freestyle and won a national title, beat out Olympians, beating out American record holders, right? Keep in mind, these aren't scrubs. They're the most impressive and accomplished female swimmers this world has ever seen. And again, he beat them all by body lengths. 1 second might not sound like a lot of time, but in the sport of swimming, again, measured down to the 100th of a second, 1 second is significant. He beat the entire nation by almost the entire nation.
Now that's important right there. Remember this, there's going to be a test later. No, there's not going to be a test later, but this is going to come up later. Measured down to the 100ths of a second. Absolute most minute possible measurement that they feel is necessary or could probably even be measured. To go down to thousandths of a second would be ridiculous.
Almost 2 full seconds. Even the time he went last year would have beat every girl in the country this past season by nearly 2 full seconds. Making him the first man to win a Division I NCAA women's title. Trailblazer. But the second day of competition, the day after this, he and I race in the 200 freestyle. So, look, we get on the blocks, dive off, swim 8 laps of freestyle, touch the wall at the end. I look up at the scoreboard, and almost impossibly enough, Joe, we had gone the exact same time, meaning, of course, we had tied.
The exact same time, guys. The odds of this are astronomical. It never happens. That's why they go down to hundredths of a second. And her against a man had swum the exact swam, I don't know how do you pronounce it? Swam, whatever. The exact same time. Now this is significant. Wait to see what happens next.
Which is it's incredibly embarrassing for a 6'4" man to not even be able to beat like a 5'5" female. But again, going a minute and 40-ish seconds and not even 1/100th separated us. You can't tell me that's not divine intervention. But tied, we get out of the water. We go, you can see here, we both went 143.40. Not one of us going 143.39 or 143.41, tying. Get out of the water, go behind the awards podium. The NCAA official looks at both Thomas and myself. Thomas, who is towering over me, right? 6'4".
Wait for it.
And this official looks at both of us and says, "Great job, you two. But you tied, and we only have one trophy, so we're gonna give the trophy to Leah. Sorry, Riley, you don't get one." My
Jesus Christ.
heart rate was still high, having just competed.
Back it
My
up and look
adrenaline
at
was
Joe
still pumping.
Rogan's face again.
And so the first thing that I thought
We're gonna give
ended
it
up being the
to
first
the
thing that
man.
I said, and the first thought that I had was
Because
just what
we
you had just said,
endorse
right? Like,
men
isn't this
dominating
everything
women.
that Title IX was passed to prevent from happening? What do you mean you're going to give the trophy to the man in the women's 200 freestyle? I asked the question that no one dared ask all season, and I said, why? Which, of course, he didn't have an answer as to why. They didn't give him a script of what to say when someone asks you the dreaded question of why. And so his first excuse he came up with, he's stumbling on his words, and he's, we're actually just doing this in chronological order, he said. And so I said, okay.
Really?
Do you mean alphabetical? Because G comes before T. Otherwise, I literally have no idea what you're being chronological about. Right? We tied. So again, what's your rationale here? And finally, he realized that he didn't have a justification. He didn't have an answer for this.
There is no way to justify it.
And I actually appreciate his honesty. This is when his face changed. He looked sad. His voice changed. I could tell he didn't even believe what he was about to say. But this official looked at me and said, "Riley, I am so sorry."
That's a very important point right there. A lot of these people participating in enforcing it, they don't believe it either. But they're doing what they feel they have to do to keep their job, to keep their position, to keep food on the table. This is what people don't understand about how oppression starts. How did Germany get to where it was? Germany was a republic. How did it get to killing 7 million Jews? This is how it starts. Now, I'm not saying United States is Germany in the 1920s when it started, when Hitler began to rise. I'm simply saying this is how it starts. Now, I don't think we're going to go that far, but I think if we let these people do it, they will. They will absolutely go this far because they will justify it in their mind that they're the only ones that should be in power because everything they say is right. They're tremendously narcissistic. Well, Hillary Clinton, they're deplorable. And they don't understand what's wrong. All that really matters to them is their own money and power. Money and power are basically the same thing. When you say power, you're really saying money. So, you got to understand what the real point here is. Power to those people. They want to be able to tell you what to do, and you can't say anything. And that's how they control things like this. And the only way it stops is if people like Riley Gaines, or maybe that official, could come out and become an advocate like Riley is, because he knows he's wrong. He knows he's wrong. All right, let's finish the video.
Sorry, but we have been advised as an organization
That
when photos are being taken,
advised by
it's
who?
crucial that the trophy's in Leah's hands. Again, you can pose with this one, but you have to give yours back. Leah takes the trophy home. You go home empty-handed, end of story. We can eventually mail you one,
Oh my God.
is what they said. So it was like that moment when I felt guilty at that point. I felt guilty for participating in the farce. I felt guilty for even getting in the water at this point.
Yeah, see, that's what they do. That's what they do to you. You know you're right, but you feel guilty anyway. That's how they control you. It's utterly barbaric. It's utterly ridiculous, and you can't let it continue. So if you got this far in the video, I hope you drop a like, subscribe to the channel. I think the next one we're going to do a reaction to is that one right there. Another Kevin O'Leary, who's back on CNN telling them how ridiculously stupid they are to endorse what they're doing to Trump in New York, trying to take his properties from him because he did absolutely nothing wrong. But a liberal left-wing judge who ruled before the trial even started that Trump committed fraud without any evidence, nothing. But he wasn't partisan. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.